tapping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's right now. So they wipe off his gloves, but you look at him like he's really feeling it right now. I mean, he probably has no.
When I'm going to take your soul, and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good.
That one big shot's going to land if the guy's not throwing other shots. So I thought with less artillery in the air, less bombs in the air, that the guy would have a chance to get.
Joe Rogan reacted to Jake Paul's knockout loss with open laughter while sitting alongside Anthony Joshua, immediately labeling the fight a mismatch that never should have happened. Rogan explained that Jake's previous opponents were mostly retired boxers or MMA fighters past their prime, not a legitimate Olympic gold medalist and former heavyweight champion. He stressed that Joshua isn't just elite, he operates in a completely different physical and technical universe. From a true boxing standpoint, Rogan said the result was obvious well before the opening bell, and the knockout simply confirmed what experienced.
Well, realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time. You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're going to fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists.
Following the stoppage, Anthony Joshua delivered a blunt and chilling post-fight assessment, saying that knocking Jake Paul out actually saved him. Joshua explained that if the bout had continued any longer, he would have systematically broken Jake down both mentally and physically. According to Joshua, the early finish prevented much more serious damage, suggesting that prolonged punishment could have led to long-term consequences. His comments reinforced the idea that
it's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you that, Jake, what's going to happen? I'm going to see a time when I'm going to take your soul, and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct.
The moment Anthony Joshua was linked to what many called a circus fight with Jake Paul immediately split opinion across the boxing world. A large portion of fans and analysts viewed it as entertainment rather than a legitimate sporting contest, pointing to the massive differences in size, experience, and pedigree. Joshua is a two-time heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, while Jake Paul is still learning the fundamentals of professional boxing. To critics, the matchup felt designed for clicks, hype, and revenue rather than competition. Simon Jordan reacted strongly after Joshua broke Jake.
Because straight after the fight, I heard the question being posed to Joshua, will he now fight Fury? And then my first thought was, after what I've seen, who cares? After that, who cares if Joshua fights Fury? I like Anthony Joshua immensely, Spencer. Any exchanges I've had with him, I think he comes across terrifically well. But I fail to see where it's taken us, where it's taken him, other than hugely increasing his bank balance. You know, I really fail to see what this has done.
Well, it's done nothing, but he was going to fight in November, like I said, and he's just gone in there against Jake Paul. What has it done for his legacy? Absolutely zero. But it was, you know, he's earned a lot of money doing that. And he's going to go again, and he's going to fight possibly February, March. And then there's that Tyson Fury fight that's looming that could happen in September, whether Tyson Fury decides to come out of retirement or not come out of retirement. For Anthony Joshua, he's earned a hell of a lot of money. This is prize fighting, and that's what it's all about. And that's what he's done. And
Jordan went further by arguing that fights like this dangerously blur the line between sport and spectacle, pulling attention away from meaningful and merit-based competition. He emphasized that Anthony Joshua has already secured generational wealth and an enduring legacy, meaning he has no real need to entertain novelty bouts. Even if a long-anticipated fight with Tyson Fury never materializes, Jordan said Joshua's financial freedom and career accomplishments make retirement a realistic and respectable option.
Earning more than Joshua. That apart, Spencer, 6 rounds to get Paul out of there. Reputationally, how does it leave AJ?
well, thankfully it didn't go to points, because I think that would have been a disaster for Anthony Joshua. I think that he needed to get the job done inside the distance, you know, and he done it. Like, he could have done it at any given point. I think that he could have cut the ring off whenever he wanted to and got Jake Paul out of there. He took his time on that. He allowed Jake Paul to run around like a rabbit and throw the occasional shot from time to time. And I think he only landed one clean punch, didn't he, Anthony Joshua? And that was the one that broke his jaw in 2 places.
But I mean, you said, did you not, to us in this very studio the other day, he's got to get him out of there in round one.
I did.
Otherwise, what are we seeing?
Exactly that, and I think what we saw there was a little bit of entertainment, and that was pretty much it. But not entertainment that many people enjoyed. If I'm honest, I think that people wanted to see a demolition.
Joe Rogan also used the moment to heap praise on Anthony Joshua, highlighting his rare combination of speed, athleticism, and devastating power. Rogan explained that Joshua moves like a much smaller fighter despite being a heavyweight, and carries knockout force that can end fights in a single exchange. He described Joshua as a nightmare matchup because of how quickly he can close distance, explode with combinations, and shut the door instantly. According to Rogan, these traits make it.
But this is a giant Olympic gold medalist heavyweight. I mean, Anthony Joshua is fucking
He is the
terrifying.
thing that nightmares are made of.
And he's got that one-punch nuclear power. One punch.
Trainer Adam Booth offered a more technical and nuanced breakdown, acknowledging that Jake Paul did manage to make Anthony Joshua miss on several occasions. Booth said this was significant, noting that Jake's movement, positioning, and discipline forced Joshua to reset rather than freely unload. While Booth was clear that this did not mean Jake was winning the fight, he admitted that creating hesitation in an elite heavyweight is not insignificant. He explained that making a fighter like Joshua miss requires preparation, timing, and composure. Booth gave Jake credit for his footwork and ability to stay calm under pressure, but stressed that these moments did not alter the overall reality of the contest.
Joshua and Jake Paul shared a ring. Your takeaways from the 6 rounds that we saw, presuming you watched?
I was impressed with Jake Paul. I thought that, following on from what we're saying, right? A few years ago, he was on Disney as a kid, acting up, and has decided to become a professional fighter. That takes balls, he's obviously striving to be as good as he can be. You can see that in the way that he moves, the way that he is developed in how he's punching and performing. But to make a 2-time world heavyweight champion that's still live, AJ's still got something about him, to make him miss in such an accomplished manner. All right, so at times he was jumping out and running around, but there were times when he was well in range and still making AJ unable to land a clean, solid shot. He deserves a lot of respect for that. And then the shot that actually finished the fight, that broke his jaw quite badly, didn't put him out. That shot's that shot he threw with serious intention has put a lot of professional heavyweights to sleep. He didn't go to sleep. He actually finished on his knees, didn't he? Laughing and spitting blood out of his mouth. So, like they say, like it's a special type of crazy and a special type of brave to do it. But I actually hats off to him because he showed that he's developing some accomplished little skills in there to look after himself. The size difference is always going to fatigue him.
I know everyone will come with the idea that, AJ should just go in there 1 round and smash him to bits, and that should be it was a big ring, right? Perhaps he could have cut the ring off a bit better, but would I be right in saying that regardless of skill level, if you forget about that with the 2 for a second, if someone is on the back foot on their bike and doing what Jake was doing, it's difficult no matter who you are, no matter the kind of separation in skill level.
It's a big ring, and you've either got to run at him and look like a novice yourself, or just take your time and...
After the fight, attention shifted toward Logan Paul, who appeared to confront Anthony Joshua and spoke openly about revenge for his brother. Reports suggested Logan even expressed interest in fighting Joshua himself. Analysts immediately shut the idea down, calling it even more lopsided than Jake's matchup. They pointed out that Jake trains full-time with professional boxing coaches, while Logan lacks that level of dedication and refinement. A Logan versus Joshua fight, they argued, would move beyond spectacle into outright farce. While some analysts acknowledged that Jake, despite losing, showed he belonged